Hello, welcome once again to the Turret of Pleasure here in the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione. I am your host, the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom, Zip Gun, with some sad news today. We get lots of these now, they're kind of depressing. This one is a very good innings, but the great Danny Thompson has passed. The bassist for Richard Thompson, John Martin, and many Pentangle. I first heard him in Pentangle in about 1969, and immediately he sounded different than even the few double bassists that I'd heard. He played exclusively the double bass. In fact, he played one in particular that he named Victoria, and he and Victoria blazed a path across Britain in a whole lot of different types of music. And a lot of people that know him at all, he's not super well known, will know him from his long association with John Martin, which was almost symbiotic. They often played just as a duo. And their road stories, boy, somebody should make them into a movie. Read the liner notes to all the John Martin expanded CDs. There's some really funny stories. They would drink heavily, and things would happen. But it didn't stop them from making amazing music. And he also did quite a bit of work with Richard Thompson. He actually did an album with Richard Thompson where he got equal billing right here. Oh, is that not it? Sorry, wrong. Incorrect. Where's that bloody CD? There it is. Industry, it's called. And this is excellent record that was really a co-production by these guys. Working songs, industry songs. Very fine record showcasing Danny Thompson. They are not related. Really well with Richard Thompson, who is always excellent. And I figured I would show, just as a sort of an overview, he did so many records. I only want to concentrate on really two. This one I found when I was in Wales, and I had no idea. Didn't know this record existed. And it was a band he had with two other guys, guitarist and a sax player, I do believe. And Tilly's New Directions is a label that barely got started. Island Records did it. And this is sort of, how do you describe it? Chamber jazz. Bass, soprano, and or tenor, and a really good guitar player. Danny does the vast majority of the writing, although he credits everybody because he's a communist, I think. Yeah, they all three of them get the writing credits. But I do believe this was kind of his thing. And then in the thrift store, I found this, which I think was the later record. It's on Hannibal. And, yeah, Tony Roberts and Bernie Holland. There you go. Guitar, Bernie Holland. Tony Roberts, tenor, alto, and soprano, sax, Northumberland, pipes, clarinet, flute, sopran. It got everything. These are terrific records. And they're actually kind of nothing like the rest of what he did. They're not really like Pentangle, although they got a little bit of the Pentangle-y, jazzy influences as well. These are pretty much jazz records. But very acceptable. Not acceptable, what's the word I'm thinking of? They won't scare you off. Like a lot of British jazz, they're really easy to listen to, and they're very rewarding. And I'm going to play these in memory of Danny Thompson, because I'm going to, he was one of those guys that you knew he was on a record. He played with Nick Drake as well. It's another big moment for him. Look him up. He's on a million records, and he improved every one of them, I swear. Rest in peace. I think he was well into his 80s. And he was a hard man. He was in the British Army. I think he was the boxing champion of the British Army. And he could put up his dukes. There's a great story about him and John Martin were going to do they did a live album, and they were going to call it Ringside Seat. And the idea was that for the photo shoot, they'd be in a boxing ring and they'd be sparring. And apparently this was all set up. There was the photo shoot ready to happen, and they'd been drinking. And so John was a little bit cocky, a little Scottish. Hey, come on, Danny, And Danny's like, yeah, whatever, don't, And John's taking shots at Danny, and Danny's like, don't do that. Finally, John pops him, and Danny just kills him. Like, just clobbers him. And needless to say, they decided not to call the record a ringside seat and use that cover shot. That's what the record that ended up being Live at Leeds, which, according to Alan Jones, the journalist, was recorded in a state of beyond inebriation. Paul Kossoff of Free was in attendance. He played at that concert, but none of it made the official album because it's not really very good because they're all just legless drunk. And the stories from this particular concert alone are legendary. A real character. I really wish I don't know if he wrote a book. I don't think he did. I really wish he would have. You could make a movie out of this guy, I swear. Rest in peace, Danny Thompson. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I don't have to do too many of these in the next little while. Spread them out at least. Jeez. Don't forget to subscribe and all that other stuff, and we'll keep in touch, and I'll make videos when I got stuff to tell you. So take it easy, and we'll talk at you soon.